Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Monday. We got a lot to talk about. We got Mawson to talk about a little bit. There's something in the news for them. Argo as well. We also have EU Parliament voted against the ban on proof of work mining. So we'll take a look at that. We also Bitmain is revealing a new Antminer that's water cooled. Elon Musk. We'll take a look at his tweets and what he's talking about crypto. And we also have Austin City is looking to get into crypto as well. We'll look at the miners, Bitcoin as well, see how they're doing today. Bitcoin's actually pumping right now, so we'll take a look at that, see how that's what's happening there. And as always, not financial advice, you know the spiel here, and I'm investing in following companies and coins for full disclosure. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick, and then we'll get into the other news as well on the miners. So Bitcoin right now is at 39,670. It has had a nice pump here within the last 2 hours or so. It started out at 38,720 or so, and it is battling with the 20-day moving average here, which is done a couple of times here in the past as well. This was back on the 11th, so about 3 days ago that it was battling that. We obviously came down to test the bottom range here at 37,500 roughly. We came pretty close to it, and we bounced off of it as well, and now we're basically testing this. This is a little concerning for me. It looks a little overhyped right now. As you can see on the RSI, we're almost at 70 here, which is getting into the overbought territory on it. And last time we were at this point here on the chart, we were back here and we were much higher on it, which leads me to think we may fall further lower unless we start seeing where price is either steady going across this way and RSI is going down, which would give us more room to run up. But if that doesn't happen, we could possibly be going down. So we'll have to keep an eye on and see how that plays out. Ethereum is also going up nicely as well. It is at 2,595 right now. It has been going up for the past 3 hours or so. As you can see here, both Bitcoin and Ethereum have been just trading sideways here for the last couple of days, except for a couple of peaks and valleys here and lows. But other than that, you can see it's just been stuck in this kind of pattern here. Except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has kind of broken above this pattern here a little bit now, as we can see here. So it's testing the 20-day moving average. We'll see how that plays out. So let's take a look at the miners here, and then we'll get into the news. So ANY today was down 8.14% to $1.58. It is now up a little bit in after hours, but not much. It is up another penny or so in the after hours. We got Argo. We'll take a look at Argo's news, obviously, today. They were up actually 0.63% to 80 cents on the day. And then Bitfarms was down 2.15% to $3.18. They are above their 20-day moving average, which is good to see here on them. Cleanspark was also up, or actually down 3.83% to $9.55 in the day trading. After hours, it's up 4.29%, which is also good to see. And it is actually above the 20-day moving average here on the chart in after hours. Cores was down 1.47% to $7.35. It is also battling with the 20-day moving average here, looks like, and possibly the 50-day moving average as well. We got Digihost was down 3.85% to $2.50. It is way below the 50-day moving average. And the MACD is looking like we might have a little reverse happening here. We'll see how that plays out. DMG was down 6.51% to 44 cents, and it is way below the 20-day moving average as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one, see how that one's playing out. The MACD right now is looking kind of flat on it, so no reversal in trend. We are seeing a possible trend reversal here in Hive on the MACD. So Hive was down 4.65% today to $1.64. It is up 4.27% in the after hours to $1.71. And it is battling right now with the 20-day moving average. And we do see a reversal here possibly happening on the MACD where we're getting a green bar for the first time. So we'll see how this plays out continuing on this week. HODLING was down 7.21% to $4.63. It is below the 20-day moving average as well. It is up actually in the after hours 3.24% to $4.78. And we might be seeing a reversal here as well on the MACD here. We're seeing the first sign of a green bar here happening. And then Iris Energy was down 11.48% to $15.34. It has obviously fallen here in the last 7-8 days or so, quite a lot. And we'll just have to see how this, or actually today it fell pretty hard, 11, but in the past couple of days it's been actually up. MACD is starting to show maybe a reversal here pattern happening. You can see the bars are getting smaller on the red. So we'll see how this plays out going forward. Marathon was down 4.8% to $21.41. It is now up in the after hours 2.76% to $22. And it is battling with the 20-day moving average as well. And we see a reversal here on the MACD as well. We're seeing 2 green bars possibly happening right now, so we'll see how this plays out tomorrow and into the rest of the week. And this was Mawson. Mawson was down 2.16% to $3.17. It is also battling with the 20-day moving average. It is below it's above the 50-day moving average right now. So we'll see if they can still maintain that. MACD is showing a possible reversal trend to the downside actually on Mawson here. We're seeing that the bars on the red starting to get a little bit larger. So we'll see how this one also plays out. Riot was down 6.47% to $14.16. It is up in the after hours 1.69% to $14.40. And we are seeing a MACD reversal here as well. We're seeing a start of a green bar here, which could be a sign leading that it might go up higher. And it is below the 20-day moving average as well. So there's the stocks. Mixed bag a little bit here on the day for the mining stocks. And then we'll see what happens with them following this week. Obviously, it wasn't a good week for most of them last week, so we'll see if this week can be a little bit better. And we'll obviously see what Bitcoin does, as they are highly correlated to what Bitcoin does. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So our first story here, let me turn off my little highlighter. I just wanted to quickly point out, Mawson Infrastructure Group is going to schedule their fourth quarter results webcast for 5 p.m. Eastern Time, March 21st, which is in about a week. We'll take a look at the numbers that I have for them later on this week, just to see how close we are to them on that. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll be excited to see what they provide. And then Argo today provided a fleet swap agreement with Core Scientific. So I thought this was kind of good news. So Argo is pleased to announce it has signed a fleet swap agreement with Core Scientific. The agreement exchanges Argo's Bitmain Antminer S19 series Bitcoin mining fleet hosted at Core for S19J Pro Bitcoin miners previously ordered by Core to be delivered directly to Argo's new Helios facility. This fleet swap represents approximately 60% of Argo's total mining capacity and will reduce operational expenses for Argo as part of its ongoing transition to operating its own mining fleet. So this is actually really great news from Argo here. Well played by them. So the agreement stipulates that Core will deliver the new S19J Pro machines, representing a nameplate capacity of approximately 967 petahash to Argo's Helios facility in Dickens County. Texas and Argo will assign its existing fleet of Bitmain Antminer S19 mining machines, representing a nameplate capacity of approximately 958 petahash to Core. So it looks like they're gaining a little bit more petahash based on the new machines that they're getting from Core. And Core is actually getting a little bit less. But, the good thing on this is the machines are already installed at Core Scientific, so it doesn't really cost them anything to get them hooked up over onto their side. So this is actually really good news for both. For Core, Core's going to benefit from having those machines already installed, and they'll just swap them over when the other machines get installed at Argo. Let's see. The deal also provides for mutual termination of Argo's hosting agreements, which is good. To mitigate any temporary loss of hash rate for Argo, the swap of miners will occur in stages as the machines are delivered, which is anticipated to be between May and July of 2022. Upon completion of the swap, Argo will no longer have any mining machines hosted at third-party facilities. So that's going to be fantastic as well. Obviously, you have to pay the hosting facilities for their upkeep and everything else. So this is more profits to them. So this is good news, I think, in the long run. So just wanted to point that out. This is good news for Argo. So we'll see how things improve for them going forward. Next story is on the EU Parliament backtracks ban on Bitcoin. So the EU Econ Committee voted on Monday to remove a section relating to a de facto ban on Bitcoin mining in the continent. So we saw news stories coming up late last week into the weekend about how a bill was being introduced to possibly ban proof of work. That was obviously concerning for a lot of people, which is a good thing that they got rid of it now. But we'll get into some of the details here. But if you ban proof of work, that's going to ban quite a few of the miners from being able to generate income. But it's also going to ban certain cryptocurrencies, one of them being the biggest one is obviously Bitcoin, and that would be bad. If the EU wants to be in a place where it can compete globally, I think you got to have access to those types of things for the time being. So the provision was part of the MiCA rules, the EU draft legislation to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies that passed on Monday's voting session. An alternative amendment on POW was passed, adding Bitcoin mining to the EU Sustainable Finance Taxonomy. So the important part here is it seems that the reason and common sense prevailed. Paris MEP Pierce Person tweeted, "We must continue to defend the principle of technological neutrality. Europe must remain in the global competition," which is correct. They got to do, one thing I can understand them trying to be conscious of, obviously, energy usage and things like that, but they obviously also have to play with the big boys, and right now the U.S. is one of the big boys out there to play with when it comes to crypto and everything else, everything that we're seeing here happening in the United States. Next story. So I thought this was kind of interesting. Bitmain is revealing new liquid-cooled ASIC mining rig with 255 terahashes of computing power. So this is actually more than their previous one that they revealed. So the latest model, called the Antminer S19 XP Hyd, Hydro, is also a liquid-cooled ASIC mining device that claims to produce 255 terahash at 20.8 joules per terahash. That is fantastic numbers on that. It's really efficient, and obviously the hash rate is really good as well. So the Antminer S19 XP Hydro is a new Bitcoin miner that's even more powerful than the Antminer S19 Pro Plus Hydro machine Bitmain revealed at the end of January. The Antminer S19 XP Hydro claims to produce a whopping 255 terahash of computing power, which is also a lot faster than today's top machines, producing 100 to 112. Bitmain also has a 140 terahash miner that's coming out. The new ASIC is also much faster than the S19 Pro Plus Hydro, which boasts 198 terahashes. While the specific machine won't be available to the public until May 2022, the latest 255 terahash machines won't be delivered until January through March of 2023, so that's still almost a year out. The other thing is, I don't think that these are going to be open to the public because you need a specialized container for those things. So I don't know why they put it in public, because unless they change something. The last I heard, they were going to be only to large purchases where you have to have basically a container that goes along with it. But that's it. Obviously, Intel's getting into this space as well. So we got Intel coming into it. We got possibly the new miner if it ever gets built, which is supposed to be coming out possibly this June for testing. So we'll see what those numbers are for the new miner, if it can actually, do the things that they're saying, 440 terahash, and be a lot more efficient. So we'll see that. So the space is obviously hitting up. It's just kind of getting exciting as well. You got Intel, Bitmain's doing this right now, putting out new miners as well. So the network is going to get more efficient as time goes on and as newer technologies get introduced, right? So we still got 3 nanometer to go into. We could possibly go into 2 nanometer in a couple of years. So it's going to only get better from here on out. And then finally, the last two stories that we got here is Elon Musk has tweeted, obviously, over the weekend. So Elon Musk tweeted, "I still own and won't sell my Bitcoin," in response to CEO Michael Saylor's discussing the collapse of a weaker currency. Elon Musk, Techno King of Tesla, says, "I still own and won't sell my Bitcoin." He also said that he owns Ethereum and Doge, so he's not selling those. As a signal for the holding of assets in times of high inflation, Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, states that weaker currencies will collapse in reference to high levels of inflation. Musk also said it is generally better to own physical things like a home or stock in companies you think make good products than dollars when inflation is high. That is true, because if you got dollars sitting around, you're actually losing money as time goes by. So as a sentiment most would echo, the founder of Tesla encouraging his followers to pursue assets outside of cash when inflation becomes rampant. As a general principle, for those looking for advice from this thread, it is generally better to own physical things like a home or a stock in companies you think make good products than dollars when inflation is high. Couldn't agree more with that. Obviously, we don't know where the bottom of the market is right now, so it's always good to dollar cost average, not financial advice. Do your own research as always. But right now is a good time. Prices are on sale. If you have cash available, right now would be a good time to invest, if you can, and dollar cost average into it. The other thing is obviously buying a home. That's something that I'm also looking into doing. I already have a home, but looking to invest in a home that I can rent out, possibly pulling some money out of my house and then using that for a down payment on maybe one or two homes in the area here that I can rent out. So I'm trying to diversify my portfolio as best I can. I got crypto, I got stocks, and I'm going to get into a little bit of real estate as well. So that's kind of things that I'm working forward towards this year. That's my goal. We'll see what happens of that. Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy and staunch Bitcoin advocate, responded to the inquiry on Twitter, stating USD consumer inflation will continue near all-time highs, and asset inflation will run at double the rate of consumer inflation. Parroting the notions mentioned by Musk, Saylor continued to explain that weaker currencies will collapse and the flight of capital from cash, debt, and value stocks to scarce property like Bitcoin will intensify. And we'll obviously have to see how that plays out for Bitcoin going forward. But just wanted to point that out to you guys. I thought this was interesting, obviously. I do think a lot of people are going to be either going into gold, buying homes, whatever they can, just to kind of diversify as best they can, especially if inflation continues on this path. And then finally, we got the Austin mayor embraces Web3 tech and crypto payments. So the second fastest growing city in Texas will begin exploring policy capabilities to accept Bitcoin as a payment option and integrate other Web3 applications to improve residents' lives. And we're seeing this across the country where other cities, states are looking into doing this as well. So this is a good thing. We want adoption. We want this to continue on. We want people to be able to transact with Bitcoins and Dogecoin, whatever they feel like, Ethereum. So the first initiative aims to ensure that Texas's fourth largest city, promotes the benefits of blockchain technologies and promotes equity, diversity, accessibility, and inclusion in the technological ecosystem. To that end, May Adler directed the city manager to explore how the city can utilize Web3 and blockchain in 20 fields, from smart contracts, supply chain management, and insurance to arts, media, fundraising, and identity verification. The city manager is directed to ensure the city is helping to create an environment within the city government and in the community generally that supports the creation and development of new technologies, including without limitation blockchain and other Web3 related technologies, protocols, and applications. So I think this is really good. Mayor Adler's second initiative orders the city manager to conduct a fact-finding study on how the city could adopt Bitcoin and cryptocurrency-related policies. Through these efforts, Mayor Adler appears to want to find ways for Austin residents to legally pay their bills with crypto. So adoption, we're getting more and more adoption as time goes on. This is obviously going to inevitably drive the price of Bitcoin up higher because of the use cases. And then finally, here, the success of two initiatives will be based on the level of effort new applications have on the everyday lives of Austin residents. The proposals will be voted on by the City Council on March 24th, so in about, 2 weeks away or so. Austin is in a league with Miami, New York City, and the state of Colorado in rapidly expanding exploration efforts and proposed implementation of policies related to cryptocurrencies. Miami and New York have already launched their own citywide coin projects through CityCoin on the Stacks Layer 1 blockchain, while Austin's own program is still in development. And then Philadelphia has expressed interest in joining the CityCoins program, while Colorado's Governor Jared Polis said in February 15th interview that the state will accept crypto for the state tax-related purposes. He later expects to accept crypto for a wider array of state government services. So there you have it. More and more cities, states are getting into it. This is obviously a good sign for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well. It means that adoption is happening, and this is what we want. We want adoption to happen in order for the price to go up as more people get on board. They start having their own wallets. They start interacting with the ecosystem. That's going to drive the price up because there's going to be more demand for it in the long run as well. So interesting day, obviously, in the markets today. Bitcoin is still pumping. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick, see what it's doing right now. See if we have, we're still at 39,611 or so. So we are knocking on that 20-day moving average here. We'll see if we can get past it and see how the RSI goes forward. But all in all, pretty wild day in Bitcoin. We obviously hit a low earlier on. I think it was yesterday or this morning we hit a low. When was that? That was March 13th at 1700. So that was yesterday, right around this time. So we've went from a low to a high now. We'll see how it goes out. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about all the stories. And then I'm still waiting on Mawson to provide their February updates. And then we'll obviously do the miner versus miner comparison after that's done. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then.